Sawadee Krap, warm greetings to all our Toyota Thai League T1 friends and One players from all over the world. We're back in the One Play Sports Spectrum because it's time to look forward to another cracking week in Toyota Thai League T1 with Nong Song Sam Si. 4 live games coming up for you on One Play Sports. Let's delve into what's a very attractive slate of just 7 games this weekend because, of course, Chiang Rai are over there in Doha. Best of luck to Chiang Rai as they try and qualify out of their AFC Champions League group. We start on Friday night with Nakhon Ratch against BG Patum. Can relegation threaten Nakhon Ratch be the first team to administer a defeat to the Rabbits of BGP? Chonburi, the Sharks, they've got Kion suspended in all kinds of bother, and who can stop the juggernaut that is Port? They were so impressive in steamrollering Suphanburi on Friday night. They're looking to make it 6 straight wins in the league. Rayong relegation threatened, a job on for Masami Taki there. They take on Sukhothai, who followed that amazing result at Chiang Rai with a very disappointing result against Buriram. I was really looking forward to that game, and it wasn't much of a contest. Very disappointing. It's the saddest part of my weekend. Suphanburi, they got belted by Port. They take on Ratchaburi. There's some transfer news I'll bring you about Ratchaburi in just a couple of moments' time. PT Pratchett, the Killer Wasps, William Enrique and all, they are in a relegation 6-pointer against Trat at the weekend. And then our 2 live Sunday games, True Bangkok United against Police Terror, who had the week off last week. Really looking forward to seeing if we get Samara in action for Police Terror. He looked special in that very brief cameo against Suphanburi during the international break. And then Buriram. Guess what, folks? Buriram are in the top half of the table. They take on Samut Prakan City with Iswan Mabud hopefully holding on to that starting spot in goal. Now listen, we're all about spreading the world. We're connecting communities and creating heroes here on One Play Sports. So do me a favour, do me a personal favour. Give our Facebook page a like, a share, a follow and a comment. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, because if you're in Southeast Asia, outside of Thailand or across the Indian subcontinent, you can enjoy Toyota Thai League T1 action live every weekend. And that's not all. The Singapore Premier League's building up to a great crescendo. We've got the Arabian Gulf League and in select territories, the Indian Super League as well. So as we always like to do, and there's one addition that we sort of slept under the radar and then he started in the game last week. Let's run you through where the non-Thai ASEAN players are at their respective clubs. Fulks got to be know that between the sticks for True Bangkok United. Kevin Ingresso, I've got some news on him in our update very shortly. BG Patum, Noor Sharul, Irfan Fandi, hope he's back from injury soon, and Alvaro Silva. None at Chiang Rai, but these teams that have got none, it will change when the transfer window opens in December. Chonburi have Kali Demerga, Mongtong, Daisuke Sata, he was at fault for one of the goals they conceded at the weekend, and of course the top stopper from Vietnam, Dang Vang Lam. Nakhon Ratch have got no one. Port FC, Martin Stubel. Now, as we go on to the next page, or the page after this, I should say, as we check in with Yanto Basra of Indonesia, Sukaphone of Laos, and Ian Ramsey of the Philippines with Uthalaf at Rayong. Look at Suphanburi. It slipped under the radar. There's Police Terror with Dominic Tan and Sumara, who we hope to see in action this weekend. He's only had one brief substitutes appearance so far. Ratchaburi, now 3 Filipinos there. Javier Patino, Luke Woodland and Justin Bass, but there's some transfer news that might impact one of those 3. Iswan at Samut Prakan City, having finally displaced Patiwat, will he keep his place in goal this weekend? Sukhothai have Zormin Tun, but he saw red last weekend. He won't start in this coming match day 13. Suphanburi, Patrick Dato, Patrick Rightshell, a goalkeeper and a goal scorer, and Sulfaimi, who very quietly went AWOL. Now, our condolences to Sulfaimi. I'm told he came back to Singapore as his mother passed away. Our condolences to the family there. But Sulfaimi was back. Having completed quarantine, he started for Suphanburi in that game against Port, but was substituted after 40 minutes. Trat have Swang Lam Mang and Amani Alganado, and that just about does it for your non-Thai ASEAN players in Toyota Thai League T1. We need to check in with the results from last weekend, just to give you some context before we start looking forward to this weekend's game. So this is what happened last week. You'll see there were 8 games. Police Terror had the week off. Chiang Rai played on Wednesday before they went to Doha. They came out on top in a very controversial game against Mongtong United. Check back on the One Play Sports Facebook page to see the highlights from that one. Nelson Bonilla looked impressive off the bench for Port. They really are rocking and rolling now, Port. Wouldn't be surprised if they overhaul Chiang Rai United this weekend. BG Patum, the unbeaten juggernaut, rolls on. Kidder Wops in a 1-1 draw against the relegation rivals Rayong. Trat, well, True Bangkok United finally they get a win on the board. They've been struggling so badly, Bangkok. Having been the league leaders in the early part of the season, they really are still a million miles away from the Champions League places, though. Samat Prakan City, and this is why I ask if Patiwat is going to be recalled to the starting lineup, because Purad Iswan conceded 3 for SPC. Mong Tong United, well, it wasn't a great week for them, was it? Because even though Super Mario Jaworski started well at his tenure, they're back in the bottom half of the table after dropping 2 points there and 3 points in Wednesday. So arguably Mongtong, the big losers from the week. And Sukhothai, the Firebats. I thought they bashed Buriram, and Buriram went them and swept them aside with Kevin Ingresso amongst the goals. And what that does to the league table, well, same old story. BG Patum, top of the shop. Now they're 6 points clear of Chiang Rai, but Chiang Rai have played 2 games more. Port FC have a game in hand on BG Patum. So do the maths, girlfriend. If Port win the game in hand, they'll only be 4 points behind BG Patum and Ratch Aburi, and they've been the subject of some big transfer rumours in the week. They're currently in possession of that precious 4th qualification spot for the AFC Champions League, which, don't forget, is decided after 15 games. So BG Patum are there, but the other 3 spots very much up for grabs. In the bottom half of the table, Mongtong's visit to the top half lasted less than a week. And at the bottom, Rayong and the Japanese Masami Taki are starting to look very, very isolated indeed. So before I get stuck into the Nong Song Sam Si 4 games live on One Play Sports this weekend, as I always like to do, I'm going to keep you up to date with all the news and scandal and gossip that's been going on over in the land of smiles when it comes to football this week. And we start with that big news. I've alluded to it already. BG Patum, what a story this is. Champions of T2 last season, with a couple of games to spare, they're already confirmed in the AFC Champions League for next season. Congratulations to everyone at the Leo. They've done an incredible job there under Coach Dusit. We'll be seeing them live on One Play Sports on Friday, and you'll be seeing them in the AFC Champions League next season. Now, speaking of managers that we need to congratulate, Zico Kiatisuk, who was responsible for Thailand's phenomenal progress in international football over the last couple of decades. He really was the driving force. He's been a manager at Port once upon a time. He's following what's now becoming a real trend of big names going to manage in Vietnam. Alton Silva, you may remember, who was the title winner at Chiang Rai last year. He had a short reign in charge of Ho Chi Minh City. And now Zico is at HAGL in Vietnam. We wish him all the best. And of course, that means Thailand's going to have a big interest in Vietnamese football from here on in. Now, here's a story I saw, which I couldn't believe. You're in the middle of the season. Chonburi have still got a chance of qualifying for the AFC Champions League. And Lee Suk, I know he's getting on a bit, but he's still a part of the squad. And he's one of the big names in Thai football, 50-plus caps. Can you believe this? He took the week off last week to go boxing. He took part in an exhibition boxing fight. I think he did okay, but that's not the point. He was missing for Chonburi last week. Of course, Carnaby suspended this. So the Sharks, for me, have got their priorities mixed up. I couldn't believe Lee Suk taking time off to go boxing. Now, transfer rumourville is obviously in overdrive. We've been keeping you up to date with all the rumours that are coming and going. Now, the strange shape of the Toyota Thai League T1 season this year, with some of the contracts expiring before the season finished because of the COVID delay. Kevin Ingresso at Buriram, his contract's expired, but he's agreed terms, the Filipino, to stay at Buriram until the end of the season. So congratulations to the Filipino, Kevin Ingresso. And speaking of the Filipinos, what about AJ Porteria? We watched him, didn't we, light up the field for United City in the Philippines Football League over the last couple of months. Well, he's taken a giant leap because he, apparently, according to rumours, is leaving United City to join that Filipino trio at Ratchaburi. How that is quite going to work, I'm not so sure. Teams are allowed to swap 5 Thai players and 5 foreigners during the transfer window, but I've got a feeling either one of Javier Petito, Luke Woodland or Justin Bass will have to make way. So, well, that's your news update out the way. Now let's get stuck into what's going to be a fascinating, sumptuous menu of 4 live Toyota Thai League T1 games for you on One Play Sports this weekend. We start on a fabulous Friday with relegation-threatened Nakhon Ratchasima. Can the SWAT Cats become the first team to beat the Rabbits of BG Patum this season? You'll find out live on One Play Sports on Friday night at the 80th birthday stadium. Can Coach Terasek get the better of Coach Duzit? But Nakhon Ratchasima, Goal difference is all that separates them from PT Pratchett in 13th place. So they're not doomed yet. They're not as remote as Rayong, but they could do with getting something from that one. It's a mission impossible. Are they up to the task? You'll find out live on One Play Sports on Friday. Now into Saturday. I talked about Leesock and his boxing antics. They'll be without Kion, but can Chonburi get the better of Flying Port? They were so impressive. They destroyed Suphanburi. Dhiren Ram looked great down the left. They got Vanilla as an option off the bench. Sergio Suarez is in flying form. They are sensational, the Port Lions, and if they don't win the league this season, they'll only have themselves to blame after the floodlight fiasco and some very strange results post-COVID immediately in those couple of weeks when we got back. That's 7 p.m. Singapore time, 6 p.m. Jakarta. Multi-language commentary available in selected regions for you. What's that I hear you say? You want a Toyota Thai League T1 doubleheader on Sunday? Well, I've got good news for you, because we're going to give you just that. True Bangkok United at the True Stadium up against Police Tero. A chance we hope to see Malaysia's Mahamadou Sumara in from the start. True Bangkok United finally back to a winning groove under their new coach, Toh Chuan. It was their first win in 7, would you believe, at track last weekend. Can they go back-to-back? Police Tero have dropped off the pace somewhat. They could do with some points themselves. And then last, but by no means least, they were our final game last Sunday. They'll be our final game this Sunday. Can the Thunder Casters of Buriram get the better of Singapore's Izwan Mabud and Samat Prakan City? We will find out. Buriram in the first half of the table, the top half of the table for the first time this season, and now 6 points off the AFC Champions League, and that demolition job of Sukhothai really took the eye. The question is, can they get into the top 4 before that 15-game cutoff? And if they can't do that, can they potentially, under Alexandre Gamma, go on a winning run that could see them still contend for the title? I'm blessed at One Play Sports to watch football from all over the world. The Singapore Premier League, really exciting this season. The Arabian Gulf League, fantastic. Indian Super League as well. But I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you. My favourite, the best in the business, Toyota Thai League T1. Don't forget, Nong Song Sam Si. 4 live games on One Play Sports for you this weekend. Enjoy the action in multi-language commentary where available. Don't forget to check out the T1 in 5 as well. A very short wrap. You can catch all the best of the action from the week in the Toyota Thai League T1. And as ever, LSFC, give us a like, share, follow, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and you won't miss any of the great action coming your way on One Play Sports over the next 7 days.